All right. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Dish. So we thought that this would be a great way to kind of introduce ourselves and meet everybody. So my name is Thea Charles. I am from Franklin, Massachusetts. This is my husband, Al. We are coaches on this team. This is Team Forward for considering moving forward. And we just want to tell you a little bit about why we do LuLaRoe. So I started LuLaRoe back in April of 2015. And when I started, I was working full-time in Boston, which is like an hour away from here. And I worked in a laboratory in a major hospital doing histocompatibility. So basically, I was someone who matched organs and bone marrow for recipients and donors. That's something that I had been doing for 13 years. And I really loved my job. Everything's really great. I had a crazy long commute, but it was okay because I liked what I was doing. But since I was commuting so much, and Al commutes as well, he works full time as well. We had a lot of. Can you guys hear me? We had a lot of. We paid a lot for daycare, so we felt like we were daycare poor. And our daycare. So we have two little boys. Owen now is 6.5, and Chris is 3, and they were both going to daycare, and each of them costs one mortgage for daycare. So we felt like even though we were doing really well in our jobs, we needed something else. And then here came LuLaRoe. I was invited to a pop-up that a friend of mine was doing, and I went to the party, and I looked around, and I was like, I think I can do this. I was really looking for something where I could work for myself because, with my commute and the job that I did, I didn't really have the ability to pick up a second job. That really wasn't an option.
Yeah, and I had to travel a lot too.
Yeah, and Al used to travel a lot. So we did this because we thought it would be the best thing for our family. We saw the opportunity and we jumped for it. And
it was an opportunity, but it was like, we're like, yeah, I could pay probably a daycare bill or something.
Right. We weren't looking for much. We just wanted to, have a little play money. Maybe we could go on vacation or something. We just kind of felt like we were just living. We weren't living life the way we wanted to. So, I was doing this, like I said, full time. I had to make a lot of sacrifices in order to do LuLaRoe. I mean, it is a job. There's no getting around that this is not a job. There's a decent amount of work that's involved. But the thing about LuLaRoe is that you make LuLaRoe work for you. You don't work for LuLaRoe. So you determine how much you want to put in for what type of output you want. So I sacrificed, of course I made sacrifices. I worked on the weekends. I did parties on Saturdays. I'm someone who likes to be very efficient. So which is kind of an understatement. I like things to work like a concert. Like I want it beautiful. I want things going really well. So for me, I started off fairly slow, I would say, with LuLaRoe, because I wanted to learn how to do everything and do it right so that I could add more and get the biggest bang for my buck. So I can tell you that I don't watch television. That's one thing that I have sacrificed. They're just things that you just start to really look at your calendar and determine what it is that you can do. So, so like I said, I've been doing LuLaRoe for nearly 2 years now. It has grown beyond my dreams. Like I was not ever planning on leaving my job ever. Like that was not on the table. I really just wanted extra cash or to go on vacation. That's really it. I like vacation, so that's really all I wanted. I just wanted to go to Disney, or I have family overseas. I just wanted to be able to see them. So, we worked on this, and it really has grown. I really had to come outside of my comfort zone. I'm not doing webinars like this isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing for me, but I really had to step out of my comfort zone, and I felt like I grew a lot as a person, as a consultant, meeting new people, and my business just blossomed. So actually this year, December 29th, I left my job. Of course, I was nervous, but it's been the best decision for us. It's been really good for the kids. With our youngest in kindergarten, I'm home. I'm closer to home, and it's just been really, really great. It's been a wonderful opportunity. And we decided to do this just to, one, like I said, to introduce ourselves. And then I also just wanted to answer any questions that someone might have about what LuLaRoe is, what type of opportunity. I don't know exactly where all of you are coming from. So I just wanted to have an opportunity for us to answer questions. Do you have anything, Al, that you wanted to add before we go?
Yeah, sure. And the thing about she didn't come from a direct sales background.
Oh,
This is
no.
the very first direct sales that we've ever done. So it was one of those things. It was just like, will we be successful where we don't really know anything about sales and we don't really have that network? Because like some people on the team have come from that direct sales world and can leverage the training that they've had, the connections that they've had, and it's kind of,
That's very true. I mean, I'm not even someone that, I'm a homebody, so it's not even like I had a lot of girlfriends or anything I thought I could sell to. And like I said, I have family overseas, so I didn't have that either. I didn't have people that I could like immediately find to have a party. So what I did when I started is I tried to put myself out there in the community. I did a lot of I did vendor events. I did different things to make me be out there and meet people. And this is really easy. I mean, it is hard work, don't get me wrong, but really all that we do is we buy wholesale and we sell retail. So once you get, you start doing the job and you start showing people, the clothes really sell themselves. It's really you putting yourself out there so that the clothes can be seen.
Yeah, and for us at the beginning too, because she was not a person that's out there and is more of a homebody, because people didn't know LuLaRoe 2 years ago when we first started, we'd be like, all right, here's LuLaRoe, and they're like, Lula what?
Yeah.
Or LuLaRoe, and it was a lot harder for brand recognition. And then I think our last vendor event that we did in 2016 during the spring, or during the winter, that one, people just came up to us and like, yeah, I've been to parties, I know about this, and it was
or I've heard about LuLaRoe, I didn't know I could actually touch it, like stuff like that. So it definitely has changed. There are different challenges now, but I would say that this has been an awesome opportunity, and it's not one that really relies on you having this big background or anything special. I think that it's just, I think it's pretty easy. So does anybody have any questions? If you have a question and you're muted, just unmute yourself. If you'd like to show me your face, that'd be really cool, but I understand if you're nervous. Any questions? Don't be shy. And there's also a chat section too, if you rather type in your question. Okay, so while you're coming up with questions, so just some background about LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe is going to be 4 years old in May. It started by Deanne Stidham, and she was a single mom not when she started LuLaRoe, but she was a mom of a lot of kids. She has a lot of kids, and she had started pre-LuLaRoe. She was doing dress parties, so she had little girl dresses that she used to buy at wholesale and she'd sell them at retail, and she did that for a long time. Then at some point, her daughter asked her for a maxi skirt, and she was like, you can just buy a maxi skirt anywhere. I don't want to do this for you. And her daughter was like, oh, I really want something different. So she made the maxi skirt. Her daughter posted it on Instagram. It got really big with her friends. Other people are asking for them, so she started making them. And then, lo and behold, LuLaRoe was born. So we started off with just the maxi skirt, and it was the same, make something at wholesale and sell it at retail. Anyone have a question?
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you, Tara.
Oh, okay, because I have my headphones.
Yeah, it's good.
I am supposedly in the queue, which I'm very, very excited about. And I know I don't have to say to you, one of the main fears is the financial investment that goes into it initially. Mm-hmm. And luckily, my husband and I just got married I think 4 months ago now.
Oh, wow. So, congratulations.
So we got some money for the wedding, and, it's savings, so that's good. But I don't know. A part of me is like, should I do this? But just like you said, I agree completely when you say the clothing sells itself, because I'm watching, and these women are going wild for this stuff. Yeah. And, I'm one of them too. And I'm just like, whoa, why don't I just hop on board and start to do this? So I just think it's so exciting, but I'm also really nervous because I'm not going to lie. I've seen some of the pieces and I'm like, oh, I don't like those. And what do you do with the inventory?
With the stuff you don't like? Okay. Yeah. So I totally hear you on that. Because when before I started, I think I went back and forth nearly every day. We didn't have a queue back then. It was kind of like you said you were going to do it, and then maybe 2 days later they called you. So we were using our tax returns. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know if I should do it. And I was like nervous. And I would be like, did you call? I was like, no, I didn't call. So it was like a back and forth. I was really scared. And the way we ended up I had to make myself think about it. It was like, okay, well, it can either sit in my bank account, maybe pay off a couple bills, or I can make more money for me. So that's why I jumped in. And yeah, the clothes sell themselves. And it's really important for you to let people know who you are as a person, because I mean, there's a lot of different consultants out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of different people. So if you're able to show who you are in your own excitement, I can tell that you're really excited. And if you just let that show, people buy the stuff. And as for the things that are ugly, you will be surprised who walks into your house or into a party and they'll go straight for the thing that you're like, I'm going to die with this. And they're like, oh my God. And they put it on and it's like, oh, that was actually really cute. It's like made for you. So, and that's something I really appreciate about LuLaRoe, sending a whole bunch of different things, because back when LuLaRoe was a lot smaller, we had the opportunity. Well, I had, not him. I had the opportunity to go to the warehouse and I could pick whatever I wanted in the warehouse. And I thought, this is going to be awesome. I was like digging through, picking up certain patterns, and the stuff was hot. At least I thought it was. And I brought it home and I found that not everyone has my style, that those things actually sat a lot longer than the ones that I was like, that's really ugly. They flew off a lot faster than my stuff. So they always say that, that we have to think like retailers. So we can't really think about your own personal, what you like. You just be excited about whatever you get, because whatever you get in the box is an opportunity to make more. So, I just tell people to be super excited about their things, even if it's ugly.
Yeah. And also I think the personality of the person brings out the clothing too.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I've seen things that we have hanging and then somebody goes and in a pop-up that we have in our house, they'll try the clothes on, they'll come out, they're beaming, and it's like, wow, that looks really nice. And before I was just like, that's horrible.
Like,
but
that's pizza.
Yeah. So it comes down to, it's not just looking at the clothes, we'll tell you if it's good or not. It's really, once it's on and somebody really kind of, it's like, if it fits them or not.
I hope that answered your question.
It definitely does. Thank you. And that's what my sponsor had reminded me too. She had a very similar story of saying, oh my gosh, this dress is just so, nobody's going to get it. And then she hosted a pop-up, and of course it ended up being the host who bought the dress that she didn't think she was ever going to move. So yeah, that definitely answers my question. And I totally see how the enthusiasm in putting yourself out there definitely benefits you and your business when it comes down to it. So no, I appreciate it. I feel like I'm a ball of nerves. I have a lot of questions, even though I can't think of any. I have a lot of questions, but I don't know if they can be answered per se. It's more so just questioning, like, I think it's just a ball of emotions right now.
Yeah, and I can say it's natural to be nervous because it is a lot of money to put up. And I mean, just like when Thea had quit her job, since, let's say, February of 2015 or 2016, I was like, by the end of the year, Thea's gonna quit her job. And I was like, all right, pick a date, Thea. And she wouldn't pick a date. We probably had like 3 or 4 different dates that she was like targeting, and every time it got close, she kind of backed out. And it was kind of just because of nervousness. And it's a big decision. And I think it's something that you don't take lightly, but at the same time, it's a big potential that you don't know what you might be missing out on. So, but you just gotta, once you know it's right, it's right. And I think once she quit her job on the 29th, the next morning she was like, it was the right decision. So it's one of those things.
I was so nervous starting LuLaRoe. So nervous. But it's really awesome.
Do you find that, I know you guys said that you had kids, and I used to be a nanny, so I fully understand the cost of daycare and everything like that. So it's just wild, the cost of that. Now, do you find that since you did leave your job, are you, I guess this is a personal question, sorry, but you guys are like comfortable financially and you're bringing in enough? Because here, let me phrase this differently, because I don't want to get too personal, because
Right.
people get funny about money. But some people are like, oh, you could bring in 1,000 to 2,000 extra into your household per month. And then my sponsors, upline, way up there, she 1 month brought in 20,000, and I'm like, holy moly, but I can't help but think like, okay, but sure, she earned that, but what do you have to do to put back into that to build that inventory? Because I feel like anybody could say, oh, my friend earned 5,000 last month. Great. But
Right.
dot.
So, so when I started, I would say like the first 4, maybe even 5 months, I put everything back into my inventory. Well, not everything, but I really focused on the business and not really paying myself. I kind of figured, well, right now we are getting by with what we currently have. I'm just going to pretend that this is just my extra side thing that I'm doing, but I'm not getting paid. And I use that to build up my inventory. And then I was able to then pay myself. So right now we can still afford to send the kids to daycare. We are still like paying our mortgage. Everything is like A-okay without my old income. And I was doing very well at the hospital. So I feel like, it's really what I put into it. I mean, if I sat around and did nothing, it's not going to work out for me, but I'm still doing parties. Things are still moving. And I feel like it's going really well.
Yeah. And I mean, from a financial standpoint, we had recently gone on the cruise, and LuLaRoe paid for the cruise for us to get there, but we had to pay for the flight to get there, all the other stuff, the hotel that we stayed that day extra. And the whole entire time that we were out there was no concern about money. I mean, it was just kind of like, okay, this costs this. And it's like, okay, and it was.
At the beginning, that would not have been the
at the
case.
beginning, it was more like, all right, what do we have to do? What's the budget look like? And this wasn't on like a credit card either. So that's the biggest difference between now and when we first started, where we don't use credit cards.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that answers your question either, but as long as you put the work in, you can definitely replace or match what you're currently making.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Congrats on being in the queue.
Thank you. Thanks. I actually have to go because my doorbell just rang. But
okay, no problem. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, does anyone else have any questions? So you can either unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can type it in the chat and we will answer. In the meantime, I'll do a dance. No, I won't do a dance.
So do you want to talk about...
oh, wait, there's a chat question.
No.
Hey, Paige. Woo!
Do you want to talk about LuLaRoe's growth? Because I know you had said that the company's 4 years old.
Yeah, so LuLaRoe has grown a lot since I started. When I started, it wasn't too long after they hit 1,000 consultants. I'm not really sure where I am on that scale. I remember when I was thinking about it, they were like, who's going to be the 1,000th consultant? And I was like, not me. So it's grown quite a lot. I'm sure you know a lot of different consultants by now. I think we're up to 70,000 or so. There's a lot.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I can say is that there is a lot of great growth that's happening. We have a new point of sale system coming out that is really awesome. Really easy to use, good for customers. We also have, sorry, my phone. We also have, our prints we have plenty of prints, plenty of inventory. We've grown from, I remember the first convention I went to, we were so excited about this warehouse we had, and it was like so big. And now we have like 3 more that are like triple the size of that one, just filled with everything you can possibly imagine. And they are working 24/7. It's a really amazing growth. And I feel like the company is managing it really well. We, of course, we're basically a startup, so sometimes there are growing pains, but I find that they correct things really quickly. And the one thing that they do that, not what I gather, because I've never done any other direct sales, but different from other direct sales, is they have a lot of leadership within the company. So not necessarily people in home office, but people like me, a lot of different trainers on the team, mentors, coaches, and they empower us a lot. They give us a lot of leadership training, how to train other people, and how to help people, excuse me, reach their sales goals. So there's a lot of support within the company, and it's not just within the team, it's also cross team, but we have a really strong team that focuses a lot on training. Okay, I see that there is a question from Ashley D. Ashley asks, if there was one thing you could change about what you did when you first started, what would it be? I know exactly what it would be. When I started, I wanted to carry everything. So I kind of got caught in a comparison trap. And when we talk about comparison trap in LuLaRoe, it's like when you look at another consultant down the street who seems to be doing better than you, and you're like, I need to do what she's doing. I'm falling behind. I need to catch up, whatever. So when we started, I think back then my inventory consisted of 5 different styles. And, I was doing pretty good. I was doing, fairly good for someone who was just starting out. I'm selling things. But instead of replacing my inventory and going deep within my sizes, I decided to spread out to other styles. So I got a couple of Amelias, I got some Julias, and then I felt like I kind of hit a roadblock. And I was like, I'm not selling as much as I was before. And the reason for that was that I wasn't offering enough options within the styles that I had. I just had a whole lot of thin things. Like, just imagine if you went to a pop-up and you're like, I love Carly, and you get there and the consultant only had 3 and you don't really like those 3 patterns. That's a problem for you. So what I preach to people is that they should have like 10 to 15 in each size of the styles that they are carrying. If you want to start carrying something else, you don't necessarily have to jump in by ordering 10 things right away. You just start a little bit at a time. So when you're placing your reorder for something else, add 1 or 2 of the next style that you want until you're ready to launch it. And that will give you a good variety in the patterns that you have, as well as having depth within the sizes. So if that's the one thing that I could change, is that I think I stunted my growth at the beginning by deciding I needed to carry way more things than I actually needed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing, it wasn't us, but things that I've seen people do as well, they cater to their groups too much.
Right.
Whereas their group will say, hey, you need to carry Carly's. So they go crazy and they buy a bunch of Carly's, and then the people don't buy them.
Yeah. So you are your own model for your business. I mean, you're starting a business and you are the Cindy Crawford of your business. So whatever you wear is normally what's going to sell. So if I just decided, I'm just going to buy 2 of this, I find that what I sell, like if I walked around today wearing this Carly all day long, most likely my next sale I'm going to be selling a lot of Carly's. So, you just have to remember that. Don't necessarily just ask a hostess, oh, do you want me to put an order in for you? I'll buy 2 or 3. It usually doesn't work out so hot. So,
exactly.
Remember that this is a business, that you need to treat it like a business. It's not just a hobby where you just pick up a couple things here and there. Okay. I know that Ashley said there's a lot to choose from. There is so much to choose from, but start with, the packages that we have, which is really nice that you guys have packages. When I started, I am an indecisive person. So like I said, it took me a long time to even, stop laughing. It took me a long time to even decide to do LuLaRoe, because I was nervous out of it and going back and blah, 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 blah. So back then we had to pick what styles we wanted to carry, and I was like, I don't know.
So you asked me, and I'm like,
I know, because I only own like 2 pieces of LuLaRoe, so I didn't really know if I wanted to have like which dress to carry or whatnot. But now that we have these packages, they are great. So the packages usually consist of whatever is the top selling things of the particular season that you're joining. So it makes it really easy and takes the thought out of that. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right. Any other questions? You can either type them in or ask. Take yourself off mute and ask.
January 30th. Well, she joined January 30th. They're onboarding right now for January 10th.
Just mute all.
Who is it?
I don't know. Just mute all.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So if you like to ask a question, just unmute yourself, and then I will ask. Okay, Nikki wants to know how long it takes to get the first delivery. I'm not. I don't actually have that answer. Your initial inventory comes from a different warehouse from the rest of us, and I believe. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be one of the biggest sets of inventory that you'd be getting, since it's like, I don't even know, like 300, depending on what you're getting. But I believe that most people are getting them between 8 to 2 weeks. I feel like 2 weeks is pushing it. So I'd say within a week. I think the warehouse is pretty well caught up with that. But that I can check for you to see what the last person that onboarded, how quickly her stuff came. But I think it took about a week. Any other questions?
So can we tell them when to deliver?
Not so much. So the delivery goes through goodness gracious, UPS. I should know this because UPS is at my house like every day. You can. Oh, Jennifer says that she got her call on 1/18 and her stuff came in under 1 week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I thought that was right, but I didn't know. You can tell UPS. You can customize UPS to be where you want it to deliver. I know that I have someone on my team who gets her stuff delivered to her back porch, so it's not out front. You can also have it held at UPS until you're ready to pick up. So it's just like if you're ordering something from Amazon, you can do that with UPS. I would suggest that anyone who is getting into the queue or planning on to get the UPS app, so LuLaRoe doesn't necessarily send you a thing saying that your stuff is shipped. You get the UPS My Choice app. I think it's My Choice.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it's called, the My Choice app. And then you just put in your address and your name, and you can see when anything is coming. Not just LuLaRoe. I get a lot of Amazon coming through there, so you can see everything.
Yeah, UPS guy's probably in our house every other day at minimum.
We're friends. Anyone else have any questions?
Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? That's good.
I didn't want to go forever. Just.
No, it was 9:30. Wow, it's gone by fast.
Time is flying.
Actually, to end it, do you want to just talk about what the roles of the coaches, trainers, and sponsors are?
Not really, but I will. Heard they've had a lot of changes. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes with LuLaRoe. And I have to say that I have not found any change to be negative for my business. So I talked earlier that we have a new point of sale system that is coming. We're actually beta testing it right now. It is awesome. I think that you guys would be starting with that right away. It's really, really good. That right now works on an iOS system. So that's like an iPad, iPhone.
It's only
it's iPhone, iPad, anything that's going to take an application that's Apple. So not a laptop. It's going to start with the iOS systems, and then it'll go to a web portal, and then Android would be last. So coaches, mentors. So the leadership hierarchy in LuLaRoe starts with a sponsor. So if you sponsor someone, you are a sponsor, and you are responsible for introducing that person to the company. You are responsible for teaching them how to use the point of sale system, whatever that is, whether it's our new one or the older one, depending on when you come on. That's the person that'll tell you product knowledge. Any questions that you have, they're like your go-to person. They are your guide for LuLaRoe. Trainers are people who have at least 10 people underneath them, and they're called trainers because they're really good at training and because their team is successful. So those people are there to teach you different things. In our team, we do webinars, so they might be doing a webinar on did a webinar recently on confidence, which was really awesome, which I should share with all of you. A confidence webinar, or the 72-hour game plan, which is what we use when we're trying to determine, like, it's a good way to think of the people that you might know that might want to do a party with you, that type of thing. Then a coach is someone who has trainers underneath them, and they also have a really great team. I'm a coach. They have a good team, and they're probably fairly good at sales and good at training. So that's a person that you can go to, if there's something that your trainer and your sponsor don't know, your coach might know the answer, and your coach also has the ability to escalate problems to LuLaRoe a little bit faster. We don't recommend that people sit on the phone like on customer service. You can if you have a question that warrants that, but a lot of things can be answered by a coach or a trainer. Mentors are people who have been in the company who are really, they've got coaches and trainers underneath them. They have usually very large teams, and they also can escalate items. So we have a lot of support. They do a lot of training. We also do Super Saturdays, which we have a whole bunch planned for the team. I think there's like one planned for every month. Super Saturday is usually run by trainers, coaches, or mentors, or a combination of that. They're not done through LuLaRoe, they're done through the trainers. So we'll rent a place and we will have people over. We would come up with a training schedule. They're excellent to go to, where we'll teach you about all the different things that I had mentioned, like maybe 72-hour game plan. Just, it usually has some type of training focus, and they are very good at teaching. So there's usually something that you can find, and we do a lot of even cross-team things, because sometimes you might get tired of hearing me, but you might want to hear something from one of my colleagues.
And the thing about trainers, sponsors, trainers, coaches, and mentors, they're here to help you, but they're not necessarily they're not your success or failure in the business.
Exactly.
I think they're kind of there they've been around the business, they can kind of give you some insight and pointers, but at the end of the day, success or failure is definitely on everybody's own plate, because what drives you for this business differs. Some people here that are on our team, they do LuLaRoe because it's fun and they want to get out of the house. They don't need the money. So it's not necessarily a money thing. Whereas some people, they want to use this to, be that sole income and no longer have to work for somebody else. They work for themselves. And then there are all the people that are in between. So really, at the end of the day, coaches will be here to help out, answer any questions that you have, but success and failure rests upon everybody's own shoulders.
Do you have any other questions? You can either type them in, or you can come off mute and say, hey.
My owl has been going like crazy.
Can you relocate?
Yes. So you mean like change from where you live in the company? Lots of people do that. Lots of people move, and they're usually really successful even when they move, just because it's a good way to kind of break into a new area. You've got something to talk about. A lot of people have done that, and a lot of very successful people have done that.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of military people that are in LuLaRoe, so because they have to move because of, being reassigned, they take their clothes with them to wherever they're going and just start.
It's really easy to change your
there.
address in there too. Yeah. It's not hard. I sometimes, if I'm not around, I send things to my parents' house on the regular. You're able to do that within Build. Build is our back office system, so you can just go into there and change your address. For other things, if when the time comes, I can definitely help you if you need to change your address in more than one place, but Build will probably be everything that you need, especially starting out. These are great questions, guys. Anything else? I won't keep you up all night. So we're planning on doing these Wednesday night dishes. Maybe it might not be Wednesday. Who knows? It might be Sunday night. But we're going to try to do a weekly dish.
She's just left.
Oh, there's another question, but let me finish my thought. We're going to be trying to do these weekly dishes and considering moving forward every week. Like I just said, a weekly dish. So we're going to do that. Sometimes it'll be led by me, it'll be led by other leaders within the team, and so you should get a different perspective from everyone. Is it true that LuLaRoe is going to make us get a credit card? No, we're not getting credit cards. We are getting debit cards, very much like some other direct sales company. So what is happening? I actually have one right now as part of the beta group. Whenever I do a pop-up, when I end my pop-up and I am in the driveway or still packing up stuff, I just say end pop-up, and all the money that I just earned goes directly into that debit card that I can spend that night. If I need to get gas or groceries or anything, I can just stop and use that right away. I also have the ability to move that into my bank account. So
CQARD.
Hey, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
Nope.
Hold on a sec. Okay, I think I'm still recording. I'm very sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Maybe my internet. But I was answering a question about debit cards. I don't know if it cut out before I finished talking. So debit cards. So we are getting debit cards. I currently have one as part of the beta testing for the new point of sale system. The way it works is that when you do a pop-up, anyone pays an invoice for you, you have the ability to send that money directly into your debit card nearly instantaneously. So my last pop-up I had, I was, I got in the car, I said close pop-up, and the money immediately was in my card. So it's really nice if you had to reorder inventory right away, or if you just needed gas or you need to get a Frappuccino. It's really great to have. And I'm able to move money from that debit card to my personal bank account as well. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, and the reason why the company did this was before, or at least in the current system, once you received your payment, it took up to 2 business days to get your payment back. So
Now you have
if it was
instant.
a Friday night, you probably
wasn't
weren't.
that bad.
It was you got it by like Monday, Tuesday. So,
I guess.
but yeah, it wasn't instantaneously. So
yeah, but this has been really nice, and I think it's really good for when you're starting out, because one thing that I tried to do a lot when I started was to only use cash, because I did not want to have any other. I didn't want to touch credit cards. That was just like a bad mess for me. So this is very helpful. Are there any other questions? I really hope that this still recorded. I'll be really sad if it didn't record, but any other questions before we sign out for the night? You can either take yourself off mute or type in the chat.
Ever reach back out for that extinguish for rest of the account?
Thing? No, the advertising thing.
You only put money on the card if you get a sale. So the card isn't a card where that you would use. Well, you can use it, but
So the thing is, the card is only to receive money for your payments.
Mhm.
When you reorder, you're going to reorder through the build system. And in the build system, that's where you put in your bank account information to make a payment.
So when you need to order more things, if you don't have enough money on that particular card, you could use a credit card, your debit card, or connect it to your bank account, whatever it is that you wanted to do. All right. I think we're pretty good. So thank you all for joining us. Like I said, we'll do this again, and you can always ask us questions in considering moving forward. All right. Have a good night. Bye.
See ya.
Deuces.
Bye.
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 Oh, their page. Say goodnight.
Good night, Paige.
Hello.
Bye,
Bye,
Paige.
Paige.